Hey guys, welcome to another talk. We're going to call this coffee talk today, right?
hmm
This is the second attempt to do this video. What happened?
I dropped my sucker.
She dropped her lollipop twice, so it wasted about 5 or 7 minutes of videoing. Now, hopefully, you guys can hear me better, louder, and more clearly on this setup. I had like 5 microphones to test with this kind of video podcast. And this is the AKG Maestro DM700. In my initial test, I thought it was kind of like poppy if I got too close to it, but I really like the quality of it. So I got it on a little tiny, like a desktop stand right now. So we'll see when we actually post the video how it sounds on the TV and stuff. But today's topics, we got a few topics, right?
Yep.
Can you talk? You might need that sucker out of your mouth before you can talk. I think we got 3 or 4 things to talk about. So, as you guys have probably seen, we've been posting some shorts lately, right?
Reviews for coffee.
Kind of reviews. You know,
Well, our reviews.
it's kind of subjective when you got 60 seconds or less, but she did not like the blueberry cobbler New England coffee, did you?
No, that was horrible.
Anything with anything artificially
Artificial blueberry and artificial orange.
or
Sorry, artificial blueberry and artificial banana, and I cannot stand the two. Oh,
If you guys drink a lot of
awful.
flavored coffees and syrups and stuff, you know that just like hazelnut, 9 times out of 10, they're artificially flavored, right?
Yes.
Sometimes they will put roasted hazelnuts ground in hazelnut coffee. And sometimes just adding that makes the coffee a little bit weaker. I think by chemically enhancing it, they're probably keeping the coffee flavor stronger without kind of diluting it with real hazelnuts. I don't know if it's a cost thing, but I like hazelnut coffee. Do you?
It's okay.
All right, so let's.
I'm not very big on very many flavors in my coffee, except for peppermint.
So let's. When you first started drinking coffee, how old were you?
Like, for real drinking coffee? Well, I would say probably like 9 to 11. I would drink espresso. My grandmother is Cuban,
Yeah.
so she would make us espresso at night. I sit there and drink it with her, like whenever I spend the night with her. But like actual drinking coffee, that's probably when I started. Probably UF, because they have like Starbucks, Opus, like
What is that? Bagel Brothers. Does
Bagel
that have,
Brothers or Einstein Brothers,
Well, whatever they're
whatever
called.
it's called.
And she's got a story one day about that, or she may not tell you.
No.
But
Don't.
basically, Opus had like probably in several UF hospitals, right?
It's in, I know it's in at least 3 of like the UF Health, and it's complete. Opus is a local coffee place, and their coffees come from South America somewhere, but I don't know where.
And like 10 or 15 years ago, they had a little stand at right in front of the dentist department of dentistry. Did you remember that, or was
No.
so? I guess they had their main thing a couple 100 feet away in the atrium or by the atrium, right? The main entrance of the hospital.
It's in the atrium, but it's not like huge. Pretty big coffee stand.
And there's an entrance at the opposite side of the hospital that where the dentistry department is, student dentistry, and they used to set up a little booth there. I guess they didn't have electricity, and also they had everything in thermoses. They just probably carried it from that stand to that little area and sold coffee there. And so your grandmother kind of instilled that nostalgia or whatever for coffee.
For coffee.
Especially espresso.
Espresso, that's like where my heart is.
So,
I love coffee. Coffee ice cream, coffee liqueur, coffee, anything coffee.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I don't think Opus is that great compared to homemade. You know, I've had some of her concoctions that she's had made there, peppermint, this and that, and I never liked it. But you love it.
Yes.
Opus versus Starbucks.
Opus, 100%.
Wow, I wouldn't have thought that.
But it all depends on the barista you get, which I think if you go to a bigger shop like Starbucks, they probably do a little bit more intense training on being a barista.
Mm-hmm.
To where Opus is probably not like as big of a deal. But when you work in the hospital like I used to,
it's always
they can know you and make things the way you want. I mean, you go up.
Here's the thing. You buy coffee at the hospital based on smelling the coffee before you get to the stand, right? A lot of times. Because you smell it everywhere.
Opus, the smell is awesome.
And you know, even when you walk into a Starbucks, the smell is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
So, for me, I guess it was always kind of Maxwell House versus Folgers, at least when I was a kid. So, yeah, see you rolling eyes. Here's the thing.
Crap.
My parents didn't really give me coffee that much or anything like that, but I had a neighbor that drank it all the time. So we would go there before school, even as elementary school kids, you know, before we walked to elementary school, drank coffee. And I don't know what brand they used. They were pretty poor. But after you spend, you know, a lifetime drinking coffee and trying new coffees, you sort of graduate to stuff that has a stronger flavor or a better flavor or something, right?
I think so, yes. I came up on espressos.
You know, my initial thing with the coffee is I know I tried a couple of the espresso coffees in the olden days that were really cheap. You could get, you know, $1.29 for a pack of Lviv or whatever it's called, or, you know, Bustelo was probably just a little bit more. And my initial trying it, I didn't really like it because I guess my taste buds hadn't graduated that far yet. But when I met Natalie, what did you usually drink? What did you usually have in the refrigerator?
So the Starbucks frappuccinos, like the premium ones that you can buy in like a 6-pack.
She lived right like a block from Winn-Dixie, 2 blocks from Winn-Dixie. So in a wheelchair, she had, you know, everything was paved. They had a sidewalk. She would just go right out of her apartment, down the parking lot, down the sidewalk, and then there was Winn-Dixie, which is not always the cheapest place to shop unless you find them coupons, right, or deals, BOGOs. And frappuccinos, these bottled fraps were very expensive.
I was a college student though too. Like I was in the second year of my master's what you and I met. So I would stay up to like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning writing papers.
So she
I
every day
had to have that.
she had a little desk that made out of plywood that one of her was that Mark that made that. One of her mom's neighbors made for her, and she always had a frappuccino on the desk with a straw sticking out of it. That one would probably last you all day, wouldn't it? Or did you?
Well, it would depend.
Yeah. So when I met Natalie, I was drinking Pike's Place Starbucks. I would get it in the big box, like a commercial box, these super big packs. And I would get it at a discount, and they were still, in date.
Flea market.
Yeah, there was like a dent can store, dent can place, or sometimes people call them train wreck places, where people get maybe Starbucks themselves sold it, when they were 3 months from running out, their expiration or something. I loved it. I thought that was the best. That was my graduation from like Folgers, and it wasn't until afterward, we met, we hung out, I started making real coffee because she couldn't really make coffee, right?
I always bought my coffee. Or my, I did a lot of chai lattes too.
And that's one that I really didn't like from Opus, but you liked it. And the peppermint stuff was...
The peppermint there, I didn't. I'd get them, but my big thing at Starbucks was a white peppermint mocha with like 10 pumps of peppermint.
Yeah,
for like a midday.
Yeah, it was intense peppermint flavor. And, it gets bitter, kind of, when you put a lot of peppermint in something, right? And I'm like, how can you stand to drink this? This is nasty.
He used to always tease me. I thought I was like John. He used to always tease me that I was coming and drinking like peppermint
schnapps because the peppermint was so smelly or whatever. Yeah, that kind of stuff happens. We've been seeing like on YouTube lately, 2 teachers, I guess, was recently arrested for bringing wine into their school system, elementary schools. So people do that kind of stuff, and I knew people that worked in the prison that would bring beer and all and drink it. Sometimes they would keep it in their car, go drink a can, chug a can or two, then come back to work. But we after that, what did we do? We went to like Sam's and started experimenting with stuff other than Starbucks, right? Or
so, yeah.
Other than Pike's Place. Do you remember that Major Dickinson's was the one that I kind of went toward, I kind of gravitated toward them. And I don't think you liked it, did you?
I don't like it, no.
Then we tried like Pablo's Pride, which is a Guatemalan coffee, and it was just too weak. Didn't have a lot of coffee flavor. What else did we kind of like or dislike? We tried the Death Wish Zach Wild. She bought it and probably paid, like $18 or $20 for a little bag?
I honestly don't remember. I bought it off at Amazon.
And on the description, it's like, whoa, this is like an overload of caffeine. This is like the best thing, blend of this and that, Indonesian coffee and all. But, I tried it a couple times, and it was just too weak. So what were we buying at Starbucks that we liked, that kind of we liked together?
Something blend.
So it was a Starbucks, right? And then the holiday blend.
We like that one.
With the pumpkin spice or whatever, and we loved it. But now we've kind of graduated toward espresso.
And we used to only drink Bustelo, Cafe Bustelo.
Yeah.
But they've changed up the
blend or something.
Yeah, the blend, the ingredients, whatever. and I don't like it.
I think they've already went back to it, reverted, because it seemed like we were buying some, and equally agreed we didn't have COVID or anything, that it kind of changed the flavor, And then the last one or two I bought, it kind of went back to the old flavor. Maybe it was the bottom of the barrel mix that didn't get blended with the right, beans or something. I don't know. But now I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's like the Lviv or something.
Lviv or
Let me.
it's
Lalave.
cheap.
Maybe it's Lalave. Cafe Lalave. Espresso.
And it's a Florida-based coffee, isn't it?
No.
I believe so. The Marlins drink it.
No, it's in California.
Oh, okay.
Giovanna and Sons.
Well, what you call it? Drink it the farm.
It's a favorite
Florida
among.
Marlins, or how?
It said it's a favorite of Latin espresso drinkers. Our reputation goes back 140 years to our family's plantation in the hills of Trinidad, Cuba. I didn't know Trinidad was in Cuba.
I don't know.
Maybe they got a place called Trinidad, Cuba.
Might have more than one name.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say that this stuff matches or beats Cafe Bustelo when they were good.
Not the old Cafe Bustelo. No.
But it's definitely what we drink. And there's a lot of things I'll drink, and there's a lot of things we'll probably try. We think making these little shorts, and we can get some more coffees every once in a while and just try them for you guys, see what we think, and see if we find something else that's even better. Because just because a coffee is $10 or $20 a pound doesn't mean it's something that we like. We've graduated. And here's the thing: if you like a light roast coffee, that's fine. A lot of the coffees we've tasted may please a lot of palates, but we want dark roast. We want dark roast, And sometimes we get a blend of medium and dark, stuff that's good. But some of the things if we mix everything, our sugar, creamer, the way we always do, and it tastes watery, then we don't really want to drink it.
Not at all.
Yeah. All right, so we spent almost 20 minutes talking about coffee. Let's move on to the next. Probably didn't plan to spend more than 10 minutes, but okay, next.
So I saw the first chiropractor today for the automobile accident. Well, let me back up, okay? I've gone to the same chiropractor for, oh my god, probably over 25 years. But he is in the main town around us, which is over a half hour away. And he's like on the far side of town, so I think that's a good 45 minutes to get there with traffic. And right now we have to pick our kid up at like 2:30. So that's just kind of like a time crunch to get both of us dressed, ready, get out the door, drive there, come back. Like, it's time crunch. It's too.
Basically, our days have been split in half since our oldest son started school.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, well, I guess I'll try another, like, chiropractor that's like in our town, so it's close by, so we can get there quick. And yeah, so today was my first visit, and didn't do an adjustment on me yet. I mainly just got therapies, and by the therapy they do the
Ultrasound therapy.
ultrasound for pain relief and the TINS machine.
And the tape, the miracle tape, they call it.
Oh yes, and I'm all taped up.
Yeah, they can probably see it right. No, not that far down. They can kind of see it by your neck there.
Okay.
So it's the black tape you see kind of like right by her right neck area there and shoulder.
So I don't know.
Yeah, she's like, when we left, she's like, "What do you think?" I said, "I don't know now. I don't know yet." I mean, so here's my question, because I know like UF athletic department, physical therapy and all, they have like an open room where everybody's in the same room, and our old chiropractor had individual rooms for everybody. What do you think about being in there, especially since you had to take off your shirt and there's men and everything in there? There's a little curtain, but it doesn't go over the front. Kind of cramped too.
I mean, that didn't really bother me, but it just like, I don't know, I just feel like me. It's not individualized. I don't know how to say it. Like,
It's hard to tell, but like the woman that came in behind you, she went to, I guess, a private office after she got her TINS machine or whatever, so they probably have the adjustments individually, but the stuff that the associates, what do you call them, assistants, do, like the TINS machines and the ultrasonic vibrations or heat treatment or whatever you call it, they're all in an open area. And when we walked in, I said, "There's nobody here," but we walked through the hall and I seen like 4 or 5 people laying down on the beds in this kind of medium-sized room, but like I said, cramped up. But we don't know what to think about him yet. When you go to a chiropractor, especially for the first time, there's so much. What is it? A stigma? Is it a stigma? Question about. There's questions from the medical community, or a large part of it, that says, does chiropractor help at all? And a lot of people think it's a bunch of voodoo and witchery or whatever. So they have to try to sell themselves, right?
yeah.
And sometimes when they're trying to sell themselves, they sound faker than maybe they actually are.
Exactly. And I don't know. Maybe I'm very this on camera, but I kind of feel like it's like Medici and like the whole scam. Like,
I mean, this guy's got good reviews from what I've seen.
I feel it's. I don't know how to put it. I don't know. We'll give it a shot.
Well, let's not talk about this doctor or visit right now. Let's talk about your feelings about chiropractic.
How do I feel?
Do you think it's like 100% legit? Do you think some of the stuff is right, some of it's wrong? You've obviously been going for a long time, so something is telling you you've got some kind of relief over the years.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I'm not gonna be able to have it for me.
I need to readjust the microphone, but I don't know. They should be able to talk. I mean, you should be able to talk. We need a better stand. We need better equipment. Let me come from behind here. All right. Is chiropractic real in your mind? I mean,
Yes. exactly, but I know it works. But again, I think that's where I maybe I can't judge because I haven't
You haven't actually been treated by him
heard
yet.
from him yet. But like my old chiropractor, like I know he knows what he's
And he doesn't have to sell you himself, right? Because you've got a kind of a long-standing
Right.
relationship.
I don't know, it's just weird. Like I just almost felt like I don't know.
Okay, you're saying,
It's very strange to me.
does it kind of feel like he's got an assembly line set up just to, grab as much money as he can, and let's just line them up. Let's put 10 people in this room.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it.
But we don't know. We don't know this guy. We're just, like I said, like UF athletic department does a similar thing where everybody's in a room getting treated in an open room, or maybe have the little curtain. And I said, you need to go and actually be treated, see if he helps you, or whatever.
Right, like let's see what happens. I don't know, it's just weird.
So to be determined, right? Because
To be determined.
if this doesn't work out, we probably will go back to Dr. Haynes.
Yeah, I'll go back to my doctor, exactly.
Yeah, so it's all we've all chose this based on trying to make it easier for us because, like I said, our kid going to school splits our day. It splits our day in half.
And it's, good 40 minutes away, so.
On a bad day, it might be an hour.
Which is extra gas, which. I mean, I don't really have.
Yeah. So, what's our next topic?
I don't remember.
I'll just say we just came from Walmart and it was hectic. And the employees were like, "This has been a hectic day." I asked about a basket, and she's like going crazy trying to
Find a basket.
find baskets, and she's like, "This has been a crazy, crazy day." And I'm starting to see like Thanksgiving, like sweet potatoes go on sale this early. It's like people are planning that somehow when it gets to be like a week before Thanksgiving or 2 days, like everything's going to be gone.
Well, we live in a small town, which we do. I mean, there are 2 flipping stores in our town. Everything is gone, but.
And you have an RV park that a lot of people are blaming for taking all of our resources, because there's like who knows how many hundreds of people that have moved in there permanently or semi-permanently, and they're not going to their local grocery stores. They're coming to ours because we have a Walmart and they don't. They're what are the Hitchcocks or whatever they got. They're expensive, and that's going to be a problem. So I knew I had 1 or 2 more topics to talk about. What in the heck was it? I really didn't want to paste 2 videos together. Let me go and see. As soon as I shut the camera off, I kind of remembered topic 3. And we've discussed this, in previous videos, but you're kind of looking more into something, right?
Yeah. I was like,
What's wrong? You like you leaned back really.
Like,
Are you choking on your lollipop or something?
no, just better try nothing true.
So
I need you guys to input.
I think. Are you gonna just say what you're talking about, or you want me to talk?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one of the things I've tried to do, and this is gonna catch her off guard because I'm gonna say something about her, and we've talked about it. Um, we need Natalie to engage more with people, and when she's on camera, and this needs to be the Natalie show, basically here. Even though we've talked so much about like topics that both of us are familiar with, or have experience with, or experience together.
But it's so good at what
No,
he
I'm not.
does.
They want to hear Natalie. They want to hear Natalie. So you guys need to encourage Natalie Messenger or whatever and say you need to come up with topics that you want to talk about. You need to engage more, talk more. But there's a reason why I'm mentioning this. Go ahead and say what you're kind of thinking of. You talk to your mom, right? And she's eating instead of doing what she's supposed to. Now y'all can berate her a little bit and say, don't chew on the microphone because everybody's going to hear them little crunches.
That's what I'm trying not to do. Okay.
No more suckers when we're doing this.
So I've kind of talked about this before. I went to graduate school for a master's degree in arts and medicine. And what arts and medicine is a field that is newly being introduced specifically to the medical field. And it's where artists come in and work hand in hand with healthcare professionals to bring whole person healing to patients in the hospital or in the health setting.
You're a distraction.
So
that's what they say, right, about arts and medicine?
yes, so I took on, because again, you go in as artists, so I couldn't necessarily draw anymore or paint anymore, so I took on the identity, I guess you could say, of being a writer. So one of my disciplines, I guess you could say, was doing oral histories with the people, or in layman terms, interviews. So I chose primarily to work with, through my the dribbling of what it was called. I chose to work with vets, so I did oral histories with vets. So my focus became oral histories, how to do them with patients and blah blah. So I went around the hospital, and then became my job was doing just oral histories, journalized patients. So we've kind of toyed with this idea of me doing oral histories on camera now with just people like wherever, neighborhood, wherever we can find them.
People with different stories, right?
So we were talking to my mom, who is 71 years old. She is a storyteller and can literally talk about anything. And is very interested. So we have things that we're going to play with off of her. And then her and I were talking the other night. And she was telling me that this probably needs to be something we specifically narrowed down to like elderly people, because there is such a gap now between generations. Like everything's technical and computerized, and all we do is text. Like no one sits down and listens to like actual stories. So we're thinking, and keep me going because I've gotten totally off.
So, what is an oral history? You've probably seen them over the years on TV, newscasts and everything, where like Holocaust survivors tell their story.
Mm-hmm.
Vets, talk about, their PTSD and trauma they faced in war. Like you might hear like some old records or something of like former slaves and slave owners and stuff like that tell their story. So that's kind of, you're getting the history on a microphone being recorded, and in this case, on video as well.
Yes. We're specifically looking at, again, the elderly. Other like last night, you and I were talking. It might just be interesting to like do oral histories with whoever.
I think we need to open up our minds and probably mostly do troubled pasts. I mean, it doesn't have to be just that. Like, people that have been to prison, people that were former drug addicts that have been rehabilitated, and I don't know if it would be interesting to see, a successful multimillionaire talk about his, whatever, making a fortune. I mean, unless he came from, rags to riches or something and had a story to tell. But yeah, that's kind of what, a lot of people do, homeless and drug addicts and schizophrenics and prostitutes and everything like that. Well, right now we're just in a learning stage, so I think you're probably going to interview your mom for a few segments, and we probably need Natalie to practice, even if, whether it's being taped practices or an untaped, just to make sure she can get people to engage her, and that she can be quick-witted and ask the questions that need to be asked and all that stuff. And when it comes to vets, there are a lot of people that'll snap and either walk away or get angry, so you have to be very sensitive to that. So that's what we're looking at, and
I started to play around with the idea.
Yeah, we have not done a video. We haven't experimented with it. We haven't practiced anything yet, but I'm sure there'll be a video about it, or you'll see the video of the actual interview when that happens.
Yeah.
So I hope that this video has had some at least better sound quality than the previous videos, and I think we need to get a backdrop and some better lighting. but still, we have problems with our internet and YouTube uploading. So you might see a 480p or something, sporadic resolutions, qualities on YouTube. That's because even the lowest standard definition video is taking forever to upload, and it seems like the problem is getting worse. So we can up our production value, but we can't really up our internet speed here or internet issues. But we may just have to call Kinetic. Kinetic, do you hear this? Y'all's internet is horrible.
You suck.
You suck. And I've had them since I've had them when they used to be called Alltel, and then Windstream, and now Kinetic. I've had Alltel cell phone service, analog, not even digital. So that's how long we've had these guys. And when they upgrade speed, you get a couple megabits or something. When everybody else has like 3 or 4, 8 gigabit, internet, and your mom has like 250 megabit internet and has access to probably like 500 megabit internet.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: 200 feet from our house is a bunch of fiber lines. You could get like a 10 gigabit connection or more out of here, but they just haven't put it on our side roads. So what we need to do is probably go ahead and start working on our production values, getting green screens or some kind of backdrops, work on everything, record in 4K, back up everything to a hard drive, so that when we do have access to higher speeds, we can upload the remastered, or it wouldn't really be remastered. We could upload the full quality video later and just upload the lower quality videos now. I think that's it. This is probably our longest talk yet, right?
Yep. Like this video and subscribe to my channel.